Today's episode is brought to you by In My Bag Apparel and Customs. In My Bag is a brand that collaborates with talented artists from across the country to bring some unique and exclusive concepts to life at a reasonable price. For $15 off your first purchase, visit whatnot.com/invite/inmy_bag 2023. That's whatnot.com/invite/inmy_bag 2023 for $15 off your first purchase. And make sure to check them out on Instagram as well at inmy_bag 2023. Did you know that I did not come prepared for Did You Know today? Let's get into it. It's usually one of my favorite parts about the pre-production stuff is getting to comb through a couple of those, and I completely spaced it, but I don't want to take up any more of your time. CR McGee is in the building with me. How are you doing today, my man?
I'm doing good. What about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. We got a lot to get to. We got Nico Harrison talking in circles. NFL draft is just a couple days away from us. We've had some wild NBA storylines for the playoffs and a whole lot more. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, smash the 5-star reviews on the audio platforms as well. We'll share the audio podcast a little bit later on. Don't be stingy there. Don't be stingy there or here either. So, CR, this Nico Harrison thing is wild. And in the Avengers chat, I sent something where there was like the whole AI generated Steph interview. And with everything that's been going on with people reaching for things and manipulating things, I thought that I saw that Nico got fired, and apparently he's still employed, and now he's making even more like outlandish things about the whole Dallas thing. Before I get into it, I think about it. Where are you on the pulse of Nico with the Dallas Mavericks?
I'm here for it. Like I love it all. Give me all the drama, all the pettiness. You know, it makes me feel better as a Bulls fan to see other organizations effed up too. So
that's fair.
I'm happy. Thanks, Nico.
This is the one thing I have always appreciated you, because like you lean into the pettiness, but you own it. You're like, I'm here for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, you're not wishing like ill on anybody, but if you're gonna give me the drama and give me that kind of stuff, that's what the NBA is here for.
Yeah, entertain me, and it's entertaining. Like his press, like the reporter, he was so cold-blooded the other day. Do you think you deserve to be fired?
That was wild to me.
I don't know anybody that's gonna say yes to that, but
well, it's not the same as the James Harden Kawhi Leonard, where a reporter asked James Harden, do you think that Kawhi is being underappreciated? Because of course he's going to keep up for his dude, but it's still similar. Like, no, I think I should be fired. You're not getting that response from anybody.
No, nobody gonna say, yeah, fire me from this $1 million plus a year job. And
yeah,
we'll do something else. No, I mean,
do you think? Go ahead.
He deserve backlash? Sure, but ultimately, the owners okayed the deal. So,
well, and that was my next question: is that do you think that he made it on his own, because he isn't the owner? He still has to answer to somebody for his actions.
Yeah, no GM has the full autonomy to just make deals. Like everything has to be approved by ownership. That's just the way it is.
Well, and you think that if he was going to be that rogue about it, that he would have been fired instantly and not, Jason Kidd towards the end of the year. If he went this rogue, this far off script,
the deal wouldn't have got done.
Right. Or if it did get pushed through, yeah, dude, you're getting axed immediately if you went over the owner's head. Like somebody else had a co-sign on the deal is more of my angle from whether you agree with it or not. The fact that he's being the good soldier and just, dying on the hill of, nah, man, it was just me, when this seemed like there was a lot more to it than just that.
Yeah, and then you got the stuff coming out now where the people are saying that the owner didn't realize the backlash well, then that's your fault. If you didn't think that there would be backlash from you trading a 25-year-old superstar for a 32-year-old injury-prone big man, and you don't get Austin Reeves, that's your fault.
Yeah, and it's weird. So this is where whenever we get into the real big swings of the emotional parts of sports is that so I remember when they traded for Kyrie and everyone said it was a terrible trade because of what we saw in Boston with Kyrie and what we saw in Brooklyn with Kyrie. And I told y'all, let's pump the brakes. You got two elite shot creators. Depending on the matchup, it could work. And they ended up going to a finals. I didn't think that was going to happen, but the matchup with Minnesota last year, we saw them just pick them apart with their bigs not being able to play anymore. So I think that Nico has gotten kind of a bad hand in making the trade for Kyrie and putting, or him, and I guess it was him and Cube at the exact same time. But, to just throw everything at him seems a little bit, I don't want to use the word unfair because nothing in this world is. But the other thing, too, I think that we need to put in perspective now is that Kyrie's got these guys over a barrel on an extension, too. Because with how Nico has been saying this roster is supposed to be a championship level team when healthy, which is obviously the operative word. You made the trade for Kyrie and you're saying how good this squad is supposed to be with him. Mm-hmm. I feel like Kyrie is going to be in for a big payday, though.
That's possible. Honestly, I might be, in the small group, but I like their roster. I feel like if Kyrie didn't get hurt, I feel like they would be, one, they wouldn't have been in the play-in, and two, they would be a problem. Like, you got Anthony Davis playing the power forward, which is his natural position, which is one of his criticisms of being in LA. He wanted to play the power forward. You got a solid wing in PJ Washington.
Yeah.
But now on top of that, you got a lottery pick. So now you can, infuse some youth in there. Their cap isn't too bad. They have the mid-level exception. You got Lively, Gaffer. I like them going forward. I really do. Health is going to be the key. If they can be healthy, nobody wants to play them next year.
No, I think that's it's a fair assessment and criticism both as far as like it's an older roster, obviously, when you get rid of Luka to go get AD. That obviously just age, the number is the number. And both like Luka hasn't been available all 82 all the damn time. So it's not like he hasn't missed time due to other injuries as well. Mm-hmm. But I understand what people are saying. But it also, like, once this deal got done, and regardless of how many people knew or who was responsible for it, I could understand the justification of the money portion of it. Also, in fact, like, we've seen people they get complacent. They know that they're loved as much as that they are, and they can't do anything wrong. And if that is the environment that they really thought was not going to be able to nurture the rest of the squad, would you rather have the extra however many millions of dollars left over to get more pieces, or would you rather still have him be the focal point and be maybe the revenue earner for jersey sales and stuff? But I feel like last year was kind of the anomaly as far as their success, and they kind of overachieved. But I kind of get it from both angles as far as wanting to get the better roster or the better defensive roster, because the whole defensive wins championships is blowing up in his face now. But, long term, like you said, they got a lottery pick now. Maybe you can get another score in the next couple of years, can get back to where you were last year.
Yeah, I mean, it's unlikely, but hell, sure. For all we know, they win the Cooper Flag sweepstakes. Now we're having a whole different conversation.
For sure. Yeah.
Different conversation.
Yeah. I mean, he's another big, but that's the whole beauty of like how this thing falls. So if it happens, one, there's going to be conspiracy theories out it's going to happen.
Yeah. I feel like Chicago's due for a lottery win, but that's not what we're talking about right now. But like it's overblown to me, like everything. Luka is great, don't get me wrong, and would I have done the deal? F no. But I get it. If you're not comfortable handing this man a supermax deal, don't do it.
Well, and that's the thing is that we've seen a lot of these teams that have these supermax players and max players where they're getting handcuffed by the new CBA and the new
right.
Yeah. Like, Denver's a prime example of it.
I mean, hell, my team just got out of hell with Zach LaVine. They just
4 years
away, basically, to get their own draft pick back. I mean, Hell, Tobias Harris was on a max contract for the longest.
The contract situations, that was the thing, man, though, is that the max contracts had a certain value when they were expiring, and that you could, because the money is the NBA, the money has to line up to a degree on these trades. So yeah, the max players, if you made a mistake, still gave you some kind of flexibility. Now it doesn't do that anymore.
Oh yeah, look at Phoenix. Phoenix is screwed.
Phoenix is cooked.
Move Devin Booker. You can't.
See, no, he's the only one that they've got that would get you the most back, though, if you were going to.
I mean, not Devin Booker. I meant Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal. Yeah, no, I got you though. Yeah, because you can't move Beal at all, and it's, if you're gonna move anybody, yeah, Booker would be the guy to get the most back, because they don't have their own pick until what, 2032
or something like that.
Yeah, something absurd. So
personally, yeah, no, I'd move Booker personally, because it's like, why keep him?
See, now, and this is the thing, is like, now that we are a little bit more, now I don't think that Devin Booker is looked at the exact same way that Luka is, but now that we've seen that Luka get traded, that to me kind of softens the blow, where if you're going to move somebody, especially because with KD being as old as he is, Beal being the defensive liability and not being what anybody thought he would be in that capacity with both of those two dudes, and them being such an utter failure under this Ishbia realm so far, I could see them doing it and not getting nowhere near the backlash, because that roster overall largely is a dumpster fire. And like you said, the salaries are just absurd for those three guys.
If I'm Phoenix, I'm immediately like, hey, Houston, hey, San Antonio, y'all got some nice picks and some nice wins.
Houston,
come get Devin Booker. What are you going to give me for him?
Him in Houston will be wild. I know that KD's been rumored to go there, or OKC. You know, there's Boston, that seems like it'd be a cheat code for a year and a half or so. But Devin Booker in Houston would be fun. But what are some in
Detroit? Like, him and Cade together. You know, give me Thompson.
That'd be nice.
Give me a Sore Thompson, and we're good.
So Craig's in the chat. He says Book is nowhere close to Luka, but that's what I'm saying though. Is like, I don't think that he's regarded in the exact same way. He's a much better defender, and I think that he's a better spot up shooter. But like offensively, there's just more in the bag.
They both cry like little girls. I mean,
there's that too. I do now. Obviously, Luka has a colder photo between the two of them, but
you know, Booker got that whole light skin crybaby turning red thing going for him.
Besides the Luka stuff, the NBA playoffs, what are some of your bigger takeaways so far? What's been one of your biggest surprises?
I was surprised how Memphis got their asses handed to them. Like,
that was gonna be mine. Losing by 50 in a playoff game is stupid.
Like, we were in church, and all I'm thinking about is like, all right, when we get out of church, I'm gonna turn the game on, and we get in the car and I check the score. I'm like, I'm not turning this shit on.
When did see, that was the thing too, because I didn't watch the game. And again, being fooled by AI so often, I thought that somebody kind of photoshopped the score, and I saw it was early third, and it was like 81-40. I'm going, this isn't real life. This isn't really happening.
Yeah, I'm like I called my dad. I'm like, hey, Pop, what you doing? He's like, I'm watching the Cubs because the basketball game is. He's like, I'm not wasting my time with that. He's like, that's a bloodbath.
No, Memphis getting completely waxed was a big surprise. And I got to watch, when I got home from work the other day, I was watching the Wolves and Lakers game. It was probably mid-third. And I was astonished by how open they were letting Anthony Edwards get for his own open looks. And then just like, he was obviously still making the right play to the right shooters and stuff, but it's like you're giving him too much time to either A, take his own shot, or B, create for somebody else. And it just like, he's good at basketball, right?
There was no sense of urgency for me when I was watching the Laker game. It's just like, I think they just felt like, we'll win in the end. Don't worry about it. And Ant-Man was just like, nah. That ain't Devin Booker. He a different kind of cat. Like he not gonna turn red and get mad. Like
no.
He gonna give it to you. Any way you want it, he'll give it to you.
And the thing is, like, so I go back and forth this every once in a while with Anthony McBride about the whole, like, because there was a time, I remember last playoff, it was right around round 2 when people were doing the whole Jordan comparison of him and I'm like, one, this is ridiculous. But it kind of subsided for a while, but after game 1, it picked right back up to Stephen A doing this whole thing about his Jordan-esque, and it's like, why are we doing this?
Let's hit D Wade before we hit Kobe and Mike. Let's do that first. Like,
yeah,
let him do Wade with a better jump shot before we get to Kobe and then God.
I mean, like, because that's the thing is like you can see some similarities if you want to with the game, with the intensity, things like that. But it's just whenever we see the latest greatest thing, we just gotta automatically elevate it to a level that is not necessary and or accurate.
Right. And Michael Jordan would have never told a fan, like, my eggplant is bigger than yours. Like, he wouldn't have done that. That's a wild boy.
Just because
my son or something like that saying some shit like that.
Just because we don't have footage of it didn't mean that it never happened, though. Like,
yeah,
I saw that too, and I wasn't sure if this was real life or not, but it does. He's one of my favorite dudes to watch, and like just the way he carries himself, because he is unapologetically him. I will give him that.
Yeah, I genuinely, outside of the whole thing with the baby, I like the kid.
Yeah,
that bothered me a lot as a parent. But
just him, like, I don't want anything to do with the whole fatherhood thing. Just take the money and get out of town.
You should have kept it in your pants. And they're both wrong. The woman's wrong too, because he told her he didn't want the kid. Y'all made an adult decision, and both of y'all acted like jackasses.
I was gonna say you guys made an adult decision, but acted like children while doing it.
Yeah. So other than that, I love the kid. Like, he was great in that. I can't remember the name of the Adam Sandler movie he was in.
Oh, Hustle. Yeah.
And then even his commercials, like, he's in a commercial singing Fantasia songs and stuff. And, I can't wait for him to demand a trade to Chicago.
I think that what we're going to end up seeing, and I have no proof that this is how it's going to happen, but I do, like, when I see him, he seems like he's joyful and like what he's doing. Like there's a KD value to him where it's like he just wants to go play basketball, right? Like that's his job. He wants to go hoop, and that's it. And I think that when he gets a little bit older, maybe he'll, if he matures, maybe he'll look back on his decision on what he did as far as the child support and say, I don't want to be a part of this. Now, maybe it can't be undone, because once you say those types of things, and because of the guy that he is and how just how well known he is, that there might not be a way for him to come back from it. But maybe when he grows up and he gets older, he gets to see his kids grow up, maybe he changes his mind and wants to be more involved. I don't know, but
because that little girl didn't ask to come to this world. So that's
right. And it's especially him talking about so much where I want nothing to do with you. Like that's, and it's publicized as the problem. Like, it's like, she doesn't know right now, but down the line,
right. It's you're not quite Karl Malone level, but you ain't far from it.
Oh man. Sheesh.
That's a scumbag right there. I don't like.
Yeah, nope. For sure. Do you have any other NBA things that kind of caught your mind? Dame's coming back for game 2, and Tatum's out too. If you got any.
Oh, he's out officially.
When I right before you and I went live, I saw that Tatum's supposed to be out. Now again, maybe the internet's fooling me, but Dame's supposed to be back and Tatum is supposed to be out. Hopefully, he didn't. If that's true, hopefully, he didn't pick Boston -19.
I'm looking forward to Dame playing after the little altercation with him and Halliburton the other day, and Siakam calling him a band. So yeah, I'm expecting Dame to. I'm expecting some time tonight.
I took I went on Prize Picks, who is not a sponsor of the show, but maybe we can get in there one day.
Yeah, let's do it. Mountain Dew, come on.
Yeah, let's throw everything out in the sponsorship world. Yeah, they had him at 18 points for his first game. And I'm like, he would be playing in game 2 if they didn't think that his conditioning would be good enough. And because you don't need, what could have happened to Chris Bosh going out there. Like, they need to make sure 100% that he's ready to go. And if he is, I think that 18 is a pretty low level for points for Dame if you're expecting him to play 30 minutes.
I took him for 15 tonight just to be safe. I'm like, you can give me 15. I'm confident in that. Now on my lottery ticket per se, I took him for 25. Like give it to me.
Like you said, man, scare money don't make money.
Exactly. We're trying to
Craig says Dame has to catch these hands if I ever meet him. I'm not sure what the animosity with Mr. Byers and Dame is. Is he from Indiana? Do you know?
Who, Craig?
Yeah.
Well, hell no, Craig ain't from no Indiana. Well, just be happy Florida just won the national championship. The team just won the Natty. Your other team just won the Super Bowl. Hey, Craig. Hey, fuck you, Craig. All your teams winning and shit. Like you want to fight somebody. You should be happy.
And Dame of all people.
Right. You better leave them Oakland dudes alone.
Yeah.
You better leave them Oakland dudes alone.
They say don't try to get happier than happy. It sounds like he's trying to get happier than happy.
Man, you better leave them. I'm telling you, leave them Oakland dudes alone. Outside these young Chicago dudes, I ain't messing with them Oakland dudes.
Well, as far as the NFL is draft day is going to be starting up on Thursday, and this isn't really so much draft related at the moment, but it kind of is. Where I very rarely watch sports programming. I don't really have time for it, and then the days I am, I'm cleaning and I got on background noises, and I forget what show it was on. And they had, I think it was Tannenbaum, and they were asking, what's the worst scenario, or the worst of the two is, would you rather miss on a early first round quarterback or miss on a free agent quarterback? So I want to get your perspective before I say mine.
I've done both. My team has done both.
Yo, as a Bills fan, we did the same thing. Then Kevin Kolb and EJ Manuel, that we did within like 18 months of each other, I think.
I was such an EJ Manuel fan coming out. That hurt me that he sucked. Like, that hurt me.
It hurt me when they traded down. I'm like, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. And then they drafted him because they went from like 3rd to 10th, I think. They traded down, and then they still drafted EJ. And I was furious.
The first round pick miss, like, on a QB, that hurts more. It hurts.
You think so?
Yeah, because the other one's just money. You can get out of contracts, you can cut a guy, and it's just like, all right, yeah, we messed that one up. That first round pick, you're expecting that to be your guy for the next 10 to 15 years. So you missing on that, and you're gonna give him at least 3 years. So you're just setting your whole team back, missing on that guy.
It's weird because like now, so like that's the part that I think is interesting, is because probably like that Stafford era, the Jamarcus Russell and Matt Stafford era was when that was it would be crippling because of the salary cap the way that it was for rookie scales. And now like you're seeing teams bail on Zach Wilson and Trey Lance and some of these quarterbacks that you did trade up to go and gave up real capital for. Franchises are willing to move off them more quickly because it's just not as crippling, because one, the salary cap's gone up and then their money has gone down. So I get your point, but for me, like it is like the just money, but the just money portion is you spent the money on a dude who had all the tape out there. Like you thought you were bringing somebody who was a legitimate quarterback instead of going on a prayer of a 21, 22-year-old kid. You're going after the vet and a lot of these guys don't even get to free agency if they're that good. But, and we're seeing guys that are getting to the free agency market more often when they want to play until they're 40, like the Kirk Cousins and the Aaron Rodgers. You're bringing in a guy that there's all the tape on him that they're supposed to be the guy you can just plug and play in because they're the adult, and you're giving him $100, $200 million or whatever the case might be. I feel like missing on that hurts your heart more than whiffing on the kid, because we see people whiff on these kids all the time.
See, I believe like San Francisco, they're an anomaly because they lucked into Brock Purdy. And like if Brock Purdy, the be all and all, no, I think he's an average quarterback. He's a top 16 quarterback in the league. Cool. The Jets, on the other hand, it's like they missed on Darnold. Then they missed on Wilson. Then they tried to bring in Rodgers. Hell, maybe they're just as cursed as the Bears are, but I don't know. I'd rather just cut bait. Like right now, Atlanta, they just got Cousins just sitting there, and they're not tripping because they have Penix on a rookie deal.
Yeah, but that's kind of my point though, is that so for me, like when that draft move happened where they signed Cousins and got Penix, it was, to some people, it was the thought process was, hey, well, now you've got the adult in the room, now you've got the guy who's played before it, and you've got the rookie that can come in, because that's what we've criticized a lot of these teams for so long, is that they've held on to quarterbacks for too long, and then like the Roethlisbergers in Pittsburgh of the world, and the Matt Ryans initially before he went ahead and dipped out for retirement, is that some of these teams hold on to the past success too long, and then you don't have a backup plan. So for Atlanta doing this, some criticized it, some thought it was a great idea, and but that's the point of like the Kirk Cousins. If you weren't sure coming off the Achilles injuries, wouldn't you have rather have had that money? Oop, looks like we lost Sarah. That wouldn't you like to have that extra money to be able to allocate to other players, to other positions of need? Because you do, like the Falcons are one of those squads where, yes, they play in a weak division, and we kind of knew that the Kirk Cousins thing was supposed to be the initial landing spot, starter, and then pass the torch on to Penix a little bit later on. Did your dog hit the?
Yeah.
I figured I was filibustering as well as I could. I saw you dip out. I'm like, that was probably Doggo's fault.
I'm sorry. I had both of them, one on each side. I can't help it. My bitches love me. So
no, you're good, man. But yeah, it was just more of a wrap up of the Falcons point where, like it felt like it made sense to go get Kirk Cousins. But would you rather have the contract that you gave him? Do you now look back on it as, if Penix was if we really thought that Cousins was going to be that bad, which I kind of did, being that old, coming off that injury, I wouldn't expect him to be good anyways. And for Penix to start anyways, wouldn't you rather have that money to be able to be allocated to other positions of need? Because Atlanta they played a weak division, and that could have been their division to have had they had been able to take the Kirk Cousins contract and then move it around other spots.
No, you're right. You're right when it comes to that. But we said two options. The third option is the worst. It's trading for Deshaun Watson and then giving him a fully guaranteed contract. That's the worst.
So Deshaun's not here to defend himself. I feel like that was a low blow, but I understand your thought process.
I think Deshaun hated it from jump. So I think he's with us like that.
Oh no, for sure. He was anti the entire move. He wasn't good with trading for him, and he certainly wasn't good with giving them the money after the fact too. No, he was a day one. This was not a smart decision.
They traded for Freddie Freaker and then gave him $250 million.
All the money. All the bag. So as far as with the draft being up in a couple of days, I want to do this because, again, as somebody who doesn't watch a whole lot of college football, but the trends have given me enough information where I can see where things are going to go horrifically wrong, or potentially could at least be good for you in the long run. So I wanted to get like an updated top 10 of a mock draft. And this is from Yahoo Sports, and I want to bring you in because the Bears do have the 10th overall pick. And this is obviously from Yahoo Sports. This is not with there being any trades. But this is their latest mock draft of 1, Cam Ward to Tennessee. The Browns take Travis Hunter. The Giants take Abdul Carter. The Patriots get Will Campbell. The Jaguars take Ashton Genty. The Raiders, Armand Membu. I hope I'm not
from Missouri, the tackle.
From Missouri. Yeah, I'm hoping not jacking up his name. The Jets with Tyler Warren from Penn State. The Panthers take Jalen Walker from Georgia. The Saints take Jackson Dart from Ole Miss, and the Bears Kelvin Banks, the tackle from Texas. So every single year, I'm told that it's a weak quarterback draft, and every single year, without there being a football game being played, we see the moves of these quarterbacks. I thought that Jackson Dart was technically not supposed to even be like a day 2 dude, and now he's projected to go number 9 to the Saints. Where did that come from?
He's been impressive, is what I've been reading in like his interviews and at the combine. If you look at his tape, he wasn't horrible. Like, he wasn't horrible at Ole Miss last year. I'm a Jackson Dart guy. Like,
okay.
To me, would I take him in the first round? No. But I wouldn't take Cam Ward or Shador in the first round either. Like, I don't feel like any quarterback is first round worthy. Like, I think this is like a Kenny Pickett type draft. Like, just leave
that
alone.
Sounds yucky.
That's what I feel this is. Like, they're talking about taking a 26-year-old QB in the second round from the.
Is he 26?
The dude from Louisville. He's from Louisville.
Oh, okay.
Years old. I'd take Dart if it was just an all QB draft. I'd take Dart number 1. Like, I'm a fan. So, the more QBs that go in front of my team, the better. I'm all for it. Shit, I hope 9 QBs go in the top 9.
That's true. Craig, that Super Bowl champion Kenny Pickett to you. I knew that that was going to come. Anytime that there's anybody who's on a roster who has a Super Bowl, that was going to be down the pipeline regardless. Yeah, no, it's just weird to me because it feels like every year, like the storylines just change and they change rapidly. And it's once we get to the week of the draft, and I always the example I use every year is Baker Mayfield. Like, he wasn't anybody's number 1 overall pick. And I remember waking up on draft day, got a notification, Baker Mayfield rumored to go number 1. I'm like, this is another hoax on the internet.
It was Darnold all the way up into it was Darnold.
Yeah.
Everyone thought Darnold was going number 1.
Exactly. And that's where it's irritating because, like, I understand the thought process of, like, yes, now that the season is over, you have more time to go watch more tape, right? You have, like, you can go and actually, because you're responsible for your own team while also trying to make it better for next year. Maybe your resources are a little bit slim at the time, but it's weird how you can say throughout the year it's a weak draft and the prospects are trash, and I wouldn't have this guy on my big board or whatever the terminology is that you want to use, and then 40 hours before the draft, like all the movement happens. That's where the credibility starts to get lost for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of teams just trying to build up smoke so they can get the player that they really want. Like, what's the new rumor I've seen? It's been Genty number 6 to the Raiders for forever. Now I'm seeing Genty number 5 to Jacksonville.
Yeah,
because they're trying to get teams to come up and get him.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Genty to the Raiders at 6 or 7, whichever one it is. I've seen that a lot. So for running backs, for me, I want to get your opinion on that more specifically. Is I don't have a problem with teams picking running backs early if you've got the offensive line to do it. So, like with Saquon, I had a problem with the Giants picking him early because of everything else around him. We saw what he did in Philly when everything else matters. So same thing with Bijan in Atlanta. Like, I don't have a problem with him being a top 10 pick. I didn't think it made sense to Atlanta. So if you are one of those teams, and I actually, even this year, I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense for anybody to take them just based off their offensive line and where everybody. Yeah, I don't really see it either. But do you have a problem with people taking running backs that early? And where do you think that Genty might actually legitimately fall?
If you take a running back early, he better be special. Like, he better be special. He better, like, because for every Saquon, there's a Leonard Fournette. For every Bijan, there's a Trent Richardson. So you better damn sure you better know he is going to be special. I'm not a Genty guy. I think he'll be a good back. He's not special to me. He'll be good. He's not Saquon. He's not Bijan to me.
So as far as like the running back analysis, because again, this one from Yahoo Sports does have Genty at 5 to Jacksonville, and yeah, the Raiders have been the one that has been most tied in connectively over the last couple months at 6. So if it's not there, and if running backs truly don't matter, like this is something where I feel like there's a lot of these squads that when you start getting, if he doesn't go in the top 5 or 6.
He won't get past
he could slide a lot.
No, he won't get past the Bears.
Do you think so? He can be a top 10 pick, like even if somebody trades up to go get him?
At worst, he'll go 12 to the Cowboys.
That 12 to Dallas, when I was scrolling through the actual order, that's where I had him going to. If there's no trades and if everyone stays pat, if he doesn't go in the top 10, Dallas is where I had him at as well.
The reason I wouldn't have a problem with him going to my team at 10 is because if they feel like he's one of the few blue chip players in this draft, don't pass on him. Like, don't pass on a blue chip guy to fill a need. Figure it out later. I might not think he's a blue chip guy, but if that's where you have him, take him. Take him. Him, Warren. To me, I think Will Johnson's a blue chip guy. I would take him. I wouldn't mind.
Luckily at 10, you guys aren't really hunting for, because like the guys at the top of the draft are going to be gone anyways, right? So you're not really hunting for that wide receiver, that quarterback, that edge rusher. Like the real dynamic guys are going to be off the board. So you can go whoever you decide is the best player available at that point in time.
I feel like that's what every team should do no matter what. And that's not what happens, but that's what gets guys fired. Hey,
yeah.
You reaching for a quarterback, why? Why? If you don't believe he's the guy, why reach for him?
Well, and that brings me to Tennessee, because that's always been an argument of mine, is that, we're constantly hearing how bad the quarterback play is at the NFL level, but we constantly pay guys like Jimmy Garoppolo and Blake Bortles and, these guys, Sam Darnold's not getting money, and Geno Smith. Like, we continuously pay these guys. And yes, you have to have a starting quarterback, but the guys where we were just paying the next guy the highest salary and then $1 more essentially because we couldn't lose him. Like, that's where we are now with the end, like the college draft with, if you don't firmly believe in it, don't do it. So now, up until really today, Cam Ward was supposed to be the number 1 overall pick, and it was undisputed. Really, there was very little pushback on anybody else taking it, but now there's some uncertainty. To me, if you're Tennessee and he's the guy that you feel like, and you've done your research, and he's the guy, you shouldn't waiver off it 2 days before the draft. But I also believe that team is so far away from doing anything special. Every team in the top 4, I'm trading back and hearing every offer anyways.
Yeah. No, Cam, if they believe in him, take him. If not, like you said, move off of it. Let somebody else come up, get a ransom for him, move on. Like, Tennessee's not winning anything this year. They're not.
No, they far away. Do you actually think that there's any chance of them trading the number 1 pick, or do you think that they're locked in?
GM came out today and said we're not moving off the pick.
See, I don't like that.
He said, I don't subscribe to consensus. We will be picking number 1. So,
see, I don't. That's the only thing I don't like about when not you doing this, but just in general, when people are like, "Oh, didn't you hear the GM? Didn't you hear the coach? Like, they're not moving off." It's like, how many times we've been lied to beforehand, though.
I believe him. Like, Cam Ward's been saying, like, they asked him last week, like, "Oh, who's the best receivers in the league?" And he said, Calvin Ridley. Like, all right.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
really not even the best receiver in the damn division. So, like, let's Let's not do that. But I get it. I think he'll be the pick, and I think they'll regret it 5 years from now.
Are you still able to announce your pick before the draft happens? Because I remember wasn't Stafford the last person to sign a contract, or Jake Long or somebody signed a contract before the draft actually happened?
I don't know if they're still allowed, but I remember it used to happen all the time. You agree to terms with the guy, and you announce it. Then if you agree to terms, number two could agree to terms, and so forth and so on. But I haven't seen that in years, so I don't think you can do it anymore.
Yeah, I can't remember because I feel like that it was either Jake or Chris Long or Matt Stafford was the last person to actually do it before, and I don't know exactly, but
I'm pretty sure you can't, because I remember last year when we had the pick, polls, they did a little behind the scenes, and when he called Caleb, he was like, yeah, they told me I had to wait until such and such to let you know that you're going to be the pick. So
yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing is that we feel like even with Chicago, like there was every narrative and everything that was coming down the pipeline to want to be able to not draft Caleb Williams number one overall, right? From the finger painting to the contract request and everything like that. But the draft is a television product. So they've got to do what they got to do to keep eyeballs on it, just in case things shake out differently.
Yeah, personally, what did Craig? Hey, Craig. All right, Craig. I'm gonna talk to you later, man.
What is that? What's that in regards to? You must have gone through the chat a little bit.
About us passing on Jalen Carter. I don't have a problem with us passing on Jalen Carter. Everyone said Jalen Carter needed a certain infrastructure around him to keep him in check. We did not have that infrastructure. So I'm okay not having Jalen Carter. And we got a damn good tackle in Darnell Wright. Is he Jalen Carter? No. But I'm okay with it.
Well, that's kind of what we were talking about earlier with the whole Lucas situation, is that if you don't have the infrastructure, you don't have what it takes to get the best out of this player, why are you going to, when push comes to shove and when the money, it gets tight and you're going to have to give that super max, whatever the case might be, if you're not going to be able to get the best out of him anyways, either A, don't draft him or move on. And the compensation is the compensation. We can't argue that till we're blue in the face. But yeah, it's all about, and I do this all the time with the Buffalo Bills when people make fun of them for making that trade to get Tre'Davious White because they traded back instead of getting Patrick Mahomes. And Patrick Mahomes is not Patrick Mahomes in Buffalo if the Bills don't trade back, the mystique and the legend that is Patrick Mahomes doesn't happen if he plays in Buffalo. Not with that roster.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like it's all about situations. Any sport. If the player's not in the right situation, they're not going to flourish. And if Jalen Carter would have come here, he would have ended up in Cook County Jail right next to R. Kelly and Lil Durk. Hey, man, I wish him nothing but the best. And we took a punter with the pick we got from the Eagles.
You took a punter?
Yeah, in the 4th round.
Sick. He's the next Ray guy.
He fucking better be.
Or Tom Tupa. Be able to play quarterback when Jalen Hurts gets injured.
I'll be okay if he's a Shane Leckler. I'll be okay with that.
I appreciate your honesty with that.
I hate being a Chicago sports fan.
Man, look, man. So I'm not really big into hockey anymore, but I used to be a Sabres fan when they had Dominik Hasek and Pat LaFontaine, back in the late '90s. But they haven't been to the playoffs in I think 7. Like they're basically what the Bills were before the Bills are the Bills now, and it's ugly in Buffalo and Hockeyville.
The thing about it is they have so much young talent, and they just continue to underachieve. Like Tage Thompson is a star, but the Sabres, I like hockey, so it's like
I was gonna say I'm not gonna be able to add anything to this. So if you want to just spit your hockey knowledge, I'm good with it.
Between Ramses Dowling and Tage Thompson, like the Sabres have players. I don't know why they can't get it together.
And it has been, hasn't it been 17 years or something absurd with Buffalo missing the playoffs?
Say it again.
Isn't it something absurd as well? Like with the Sabres have missed the playoffs like 17 years in a row, or just something egregious?
Shoot, I don't even know. I know my team ain't won a playoff game since like 2015 or something like that. So I have no idea.
If it's not the Blackhawks suffering, you just kind of check out.
No, I like to see the Dallas Stars suffer. Like I love that. The St. Louis Blues, the Nashville Predators. I enjoy the suffering of some other organizations. Shout out to Aaron Reigns. I love to see Trashville lose. So,
I used to be that person because, just being a Bills fan for as long as I have been, I used to take any joy that happened. It's like just in the AFC East, Dolphins, Jets, or Pats. And I've kind of grown from that. But I can appreciate you still wanting to keep the Pettyville and station like, open.
If for the Stars, it's because of Carly. And for the Predators, it's because of Aaron. And if they don't trash my city, then we will be cool. But since you want to talk about Chicago, all right, your team. Like, and then St. Louis is just like, I hate St. Louis. It's the dirtiest city I've ever been to in my life. Like, nothing good is in St. Louis. Like, they eat toasted ravioli and they wear jorts and it stinks. They're like, oh, try the barbecue. That ain't barbecue. Like, I don't know what that is.
I didn't realize that it was that aggressive in St. Louis either. Like, just from like a crime perspective, I didn't realize it was that dirty out there.
Oh, yeah, it's bad down there. East St. Louis is worse. East St. Louis is nuts down there, but only good thing they got going for St. Louis is the Hustler Club, and that's even okay.
The Hustler Club?
Yeah. I used to go down there when I went to Southern Illinois.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
It's a Friday. It's like, man, we don't have nothing to do. Hey, let's go to the Hustler Club. All
right. To get back on point, because geographic locations across the country.
That sponsorship too.
Hey, man, you are more. It sounds like you are more well equipped to handle that one for me than I would be.
If I want to sponsor my OnlyFans, I'm all for it. Let's go. Let's get this going.
I'll let you be in charge of that sponsorship. So let's go and wrap up. We got a little more draft stuff, I guess. So we kind of talked a little bit earlier that if we ran these organizations, like we trade down 1, 2, 3 anyways. Like they're dumpster fires. There's not a whole lot there, but Shedeur has been one of these wild stories where he could go 7, 8, 9. He could go to the Steelers at 21. They're now, and this is something that I put out into the universe a few weeks ago, was a lot of folks thought that once the Giants went and got Jameis and Russ, that they wouldn't go after a quarterback. And like, this makes perfect sense for them to do it, to have 2 guys in front of him that you're probably going to have Russ start first, and then Jameis is your backup, and then Shedeur is just kind of like the third guy in the background where he can ease into the New Jersey, New York media and everything like that, even though I don't think it's a big deal because Dion is his dad and he's used to this. But I feel like it made more sense than people would lead it onto. But now it feels like there's like some legitimate traction with Shedeur going 3. Do you see any to it, or how far do you actually see him sliding?
I don't think he's going 3.
It's a stretch.
I just don't. I feel like this could be one of those Lamar situations where Shedeur starts to slide and a team tries to come up just to make sure they get that 5th year on him. I don't think
gotcha.
Fall out the first round.
First rounder, yeah.
But I don't see him getting past Pittsburgh. Like, I don't. I just feel like if he got there, it would be too much value, to grab a quarterback for them right there.
Yeah.
Even though they just did it with Kenny Pickett and it didn't work out. But hey, I don't care. I'm not a Steelers fan. Good luck.
Are there any So there's because the quarterbacks obviously get the most love on this, and that's where someone's going to reach, and we don't really know where. But are there any teams that are on the back half of the draft or the first round? So the 17 through or 16 or 17 through 32 that you could see really trying to make a jump into the top 5 to 10 and trying to get, maybe it's not somebody like Abdul Carter, but somebody who's projected to be a top 5, top 10 pick who's on the back end of the first round, really try to be aggressive and get somebody.
Philly, like they've done it before. So
don't tell me they're going to go after another Georgia.
No, from what I saw something where they were trading their pick and AJ Brown to the Patriots to come up and get Abdul Carter.
They think that Abdul Carter is going to be there at 4?
It's possible. It's possible, but I don't think that's going to happen, but I could see it. I could see Philly coming up and trying to get an Abdul Carter. He's a diehard, like he was with them when they were celebrating the Super Bowl. He's a diehard Eagles fan.
Dude, that's not no, come on. We're not setting the settings to rookie mode on Madden and doing this. That's not we can't let that happen.
Dude is a wizard. He's the best GM in football. At this point, he might be the best GM in sports.
Yo, the draft capital to do that would be absurd that they'd have to give up. And a player. So you said they would move AJ Brown too?
That's what I saw. I don't think that would happen, but everybody knows AJ Brown's a Patriots fan and wanted to be drafted by the Patriots. And hey,
so I don't want to poke holes in it, and I don't want to be discredit of it. It's more of because
poke away.
Oh well, no, no, it's not so much that, but it's more of because going from 32 to 4 and giving up AJ Brown like that. The thing is, like, that seems like it's all you're probably have to give another first next year. But my biggest concern would be putting that much faith in the fact that you think that Carter's going to drop to 4. That would be, as much as he might want to play in Brown, as we're talking about, as much as we think that he might want to be in New England. That's a lot of faith that I wouldn't be willing to put to think that he's going to slip to 4 and have that still be a viable thing.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. But we know they're not trading with the Giants. Like, they're not going to give AJ Brown to the Giants.
No, oh, dude, there's no, they could say we'll give you Reggie White and Randall Cunningham and all of our first round picks until Jesus does come back, and the Giants can't make that move.
No, especially after the whole Saquon thing. No.
Yeah, that's my point. I think it'd be interesting too, is like, so I don't know. I'm looking at Buffalo as well. Like, that's one of the things I've been looking at in my own backyard as a fan, is seeing how they are going to address the running back situation because James Cook has been so open about wanting the contract that he's wanting. And I don't know a whole lot about Ashton Jeanty outside of the fact that apparently like in high school, he had a lot more receptions than people are giving him credit for, like, or his passing game is more, it's better than people think just because he didn't catch the ball a whole lot at Boise State that he can't. But apparently in high school, he was a receiving back more. I don't know if it's going to happen. I think they're going to see where Jeanty slides, but maybe Buffalo being a dark horse to try to move up into that 10-12 pick if he slides far enough to try to get a replacement for Cook and then maybe have Cook be part of the deal. I feel like that is on the board at least.
Oh yeah, that and like it's a couple backs I've seen possibly being traded. Like the whole Breece Hall might be on the block thing, and this draft is so running back strong. First of all, I wouldn't move up for a running back at all. Period.
Yeah, there's a lot of consensus around
Gale Sayers or Barry Sanders. I ain't moving up for no running back. But I feel like if Buffalo, like if they wanted a back, they can sit back and just let a Travion Henderson fall to them or a Quinshawn Judkins or something like that. I don't think Hampton gets past Denver at 20. I think it'll be 2 backs drafted in the top 20. I read something earlier about Henderson might sneak into the mid first round, but there's so many backs in this draft. I wouldn't even bother giving up capital to come up for a back.
Sure. Now I want to hit you with one more trade request that this isn't my take, so I need to be full transparency. This isn't me just coming out of the woodwork on this. And again, not watching a whole lot of and listening to a whole lot of sports stuff. Every once in a while, if things are on the background, I'll have like first take or first things first, or whatever the case might be. And Nick Wright threw something out into the universe. I know that people are not huge fans of his. I get it. But with the defensive deficiencies in Cincinnati, would you be willing to be strong enough to go from where they are right now? I think they're in like the high teens, to try to move up to that 2 or 3 spot, and then giving up a first next year and then a player or whatever, or maybe even another first round of the following year to try to get Abdul Carter, because that defense has been so bad. Or maybe to number 3, if you think they can either get Abdul or Travis Hunter to fix the secondary.
I think that if we're talking about the Bengals, I think they're in a perfect spot to let the board come to them. I wouldn't move up and give up capital because, one, you're going to need the capital. You just paid Jamar, you just paid T, you just paid Joe. You're going to need those young, cheap players. So I wouldn't give up any more draft capital. But if you let the board fall, you might get a Mike Green out of Marshall, or you might be able to get like Will Johnson out of Michigan or somebody. Nick, I can't pronounce his last name, but the safety out of South Carolina. And to me, the best safety in the draft, if Malachi Starks is there, Cincinnati should run to the podium. So I think they're in a great spot. Like, I feel like if you're between 10 and 30, just let it come to you. Like, I don't see any star, not that I don't see stars. I don't see the big gap in talent. Between
like once you get outside the top like 3 or 4 guys, it's like
it's
all pretty interchangeable, just depending on scheme and personnel and
right, and your preference. That's really what it's going to come down to. So if I'm Cincinnati, they're in a perfect spot to me to let the board just fall to them. Hell, Colston Loveland, the tight end from Michigan. I know they got a lot of offense, but I think he's a dog. So like if he's there, take him. Since he's in a great spot, I think they're picking like 17, something like that, 17, 18. Let the board come to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those. Cincinnati's gotten off to such bad starts the last number of years, and it feels like they play with their food. They let teams hang around. They let their record hang around, and next thing you know, they're sneaking in the playoffs or backdooring in, and it's, I don't know if it's them needing to be taken as a serious outfit is to go get a dominant rusher, because either because they're still toying around with Hendrickson. And, that's the thing is like, if you plan on paying him, okay, then maybe you let the board fall to you. If you're not, maybe you'll get the replacement, and that's, or maybe you make him part of the deal to be able to go up there. I don't know, but it just feels like they haven't been that serious about really winning, as opposed to just like, let's just pay the offensive guys that we've got. And as long as Joe's happy, then we're happy. And it just feels like they're not taking the entire thing as seriously as they need to.
Yeah. And that defense is terrible. Because if you really let's just think about Joe's season last year. If the Bengals had the record that Joe's numbers indicate that they should have had,
that's Joe's a 12 or 13 win team.
Joe's the MVP.
He's MVP. Oh, for sure.
Like, hands down. That defense is terrible. But like I said, they just paid. They got so much money. And the offensive line sucks too. So let's not,
That's the other thing is that, like, yeah, you guys on Madden, sure, maybe you guys will be good because you're good on the user lurk. But I mean, otherwise, it's not good in Cincinnati, man. And I don't know, man.
The chili sucks. The defense sucks.
Oh, I've always, what's weird? I always wanted to try the Skyline chili because it's supposed to be good and
runs. It's gonna give you the runs.
But see, this is exactly why I have people like you on the show, is because I'm not very worldly like that. I haven't really traveled outside of Alaska much in the past 10, 15 years, that I need the education from people like you to tell me these things.
Look, man, we have to, like, my mother-in-law lives in Virginia, so we go there a couple times a year, and we always stop in Cincinnati. That shit is garbage. We won't be getting no sponsorship from them. I tell you that much. Like,
yeah. I don't want to be associated with Skyline Chili.
Man, it's like the White Castle of Chili. It's gonna mess your stomach up.
But they didn't make no Harold and Kumar movie about that.
Man, give me some Wendy's chili over White Castle. I mean,
Wendy's chili is solid for fast food chili.
Yeah. You know, when I used to partake in some, I would go to 7-Eleven, get a hot dog, and Wendy's and get some chili, because I don't like the chili at 7-Eleven.
No,
it's like dog food.
Dude, gas station chili, you shouldn't trust that anyways. No, that's a smart decision.
It's like you got the same chili for the hot dogs that you put on the nachos, 7-Eleven. What are we doing?
Yeah. Hey, look, man, every once in a while you have to, if you're already in the mood for fast food, sometimes you have to make the 2-trip destination. Like, I'm going to go here for the fries, but here for the burgers. I'm going to go here for the combo meal, but I'm going to replace the drink with a shake. It happens, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Big backs. We're big backs.
Yeah. Big backs reunite. So I'm gonna let you get out of here, but I want to ask you one thing. What is your hottest take of the draft coming up? Team, whether it's you with Chicago or anybody, is there a somebody who's not getting talked about enough that you think it can sneak in there, or somebody who's going to slip? Like, what is your hottest take on the draft coming up in the next couple of days?
It's not just the draft, but it's the draft coupled with their off season. I mean, the Patriots not going to be as bad as people think they are. Like, I'm a firm believer in Drake May. If they get Hunter or Carter, the Patriots they're gonna be a problem. Not a problem like a playoff team, but you're not gonna just push them over.
No, and that's been pretty typical of Patriots teams, anyways. You know, Belichick or not, Brady or not, is that you're not typically gonna be able to like run them over, and that you're not going to get basically a OKC Memphis type of outcome. You're not getting the brakes beat off you by 50 with New England. But I'm with you. I think that's the thing, like the biggest, because New England was still competitive last year. So I think that they're going to take a couple steps forward. But yeah, that's probably if they get either one of those two guys, it's probably an 8-9 win team.
For me, if they get one of those two, and they can get the tight end from Bowling Green possibly in the second round. I know they got tight ends, but I think this dude can be special just from his physical traits. New England might have something.
It's still going to be a building process, because I don't think that there's enough talent on the offensive side of the ball to be able to go. And this is obviously barring any catastrophic injuries from Buffalo, but with them getting Bosa and Josh Allen still being Josh Allen, like, to me, it still feels like Buffalo's going to win the division again. Easy. But this is just not anything where, yeah, I could see New England being an 8-9 win team. If everything breaks perfectly, maybe it's 10. But yeah, I mean, it's still going to be, they're not going to be as cheeks as what everybody thought they were going to be last year before the season started, because people were projecting them to be the worst team in the NFL, and they even still overshot that.
The Dolphins will be the worst team in that division next year.
Really?
Yeah.
You think they're moving off from Tyreek? They're moving in the offseason, and that's the reason why?
Have you seen the video today of him?
No.
Like, holding the baby over the balcony?
He pulled a Michael Jackson?
Man, Michael Jackson wasn't that high. I'm like, this is nuts.
No, I did not see that.
And I would have cut.
He held one of his 32 babies over.
Yeah. I'm like, man, nah, get him out of here.
What is going on with that dude, man?
Yeah, the Dolphins are a dumpster fire. Between Tyreek, Ramsey wants out. It's like, bro, do you want to be anywhere? Like,
which one?
Right, like Jalen, go somewhere. Like, just go sit down. Tua will be concussed. Like, the Dolphins are a joke.
It's so funny too how quickly these things turn around, because we were just talking about them 2 years ago, that with Mike McDaniel and getting Tyreek, that was going to be a squad that you need to deal with. And I mean, just besides the fact that you've got those reflectors on one side of the building that can cook Buffalo Bills players, there's not a whole lot to be happy about in Miami, it sounds like, at this point in time.
No, they just better enjoy the weather because it's going to be a long fall for them. That's their problem, not mine.
Yeah, that's it. But I'm in Alaska and you're in Chicago, so they do at least have the weather, though.
Yeah.
But it's all good, though.
Dr.
I'll tell you what, man. Oh, go ahead.
I said in Dr. Miami, all the BBLs they want.
Tyreek better watch out, though, man. He can't have any. He's like the Nick Cannon of football right now. He better watch out.
Right, he's been hanging out with Antonio Cromartie.
Well, with that being said, that was CR McGee. I appreciate you being on the show with me today. You got anything else you want to leave everybody with? Is that Virginia back again?
Yeah. What can I say?
She's not going to turn the podcast off again, is she?
That was Maggie.
That was Maggie?
Yeah.
That was all right. Well, we won't look, man. They're too cute for us to get that mad at them. So,
not
just this. Let's say we're going to go hang it up for the day. CR, I appreciate your time, my man. You guys know the drill. Stay up, stay blessed. We'll catch you guys on the next one.